This is a Shell recharge disaster, and this should be highlighted on all the news and everywhere. This is an absolute scandal and a disgrace. Zap Map, if you're taking money off Shell, which I very strongly suspect you are, can't you make sure that when you advertise that there is a Shell recharge charger on Deepdale Retail Park, that the thing actually exists? It's there. Your chargers should be ripped out, disconnected, and your app should be deleted. I bailed out at that point. I am not going to scan in my passport or my driving license for the benefit of Shell. Now, we do basic research at home before we come out driving. We don't just drive around anywhere. We do usually have a mission in mind. And here it was cheap charging. So if you can't charge at home at our ridiculous rates of 6 or 7p overnight, what is available to you if you live on a 17th floor of a block of flats and there's no way you can get an extension cable that long? Well, the answer is to come out to public chargers. So we did a quick search and we found out this is Deepdale Retail Park in Preston, and we found out there's one Shell recharge charger, a fast charger, advertised, and at the incredible rate of 21 pence per kilowatt hour. So we come out. We can't find one, but we've got 4 outside of Starbucks. And these 4, they don't appear on the app yet. When we read how to use it, it says use the Shell Recharge app. It's showing one charger here, and on the app, it's showing 25p. Oh. Anyway, I'm Dave. This is Dave Takes It On. Welcome to Preston Deepdale Retail Park. So we're here, we're just going to try out what we find. When we read what it says use your Shell RFID card, we don't have one, or Shell Recharge app, we have that one. So when we open the app, this isn't on here at all. But there is a QR code. Now, everyone does warn me, make sure it's a genuine one, because some people do have a habit of sticking something over the top of it. So what we're going to do now is just activate that and see if this is any help whatsoever. Okay, we've got something come up. Let's see what we got. PayShellRecharge.com. It's a payment thing, not an app thing. Right, so it says charge point details, 6 Blackpool Road, charge point ID. We've got the number, type 2. Oh, look at that, but it's still advertised as 25 pence. And this is 11 kilowatts. Oh, well, there's a transaction fee of 5%. Now that's really interesting. What do you want to do? Download the app? I've already got the app and it didn't actually come on, but maybe... Tell you what, I'm going to choose the direct payment method on this one. Let's see if we can just bypass everything and come and pay. So, charge with direct payments. So it's going to take me to a secure site. Here we go, loading charge point data, Blackpool Road, confirm and start charging. Oh, I've got to put my card details in. Cover your eyes. Right, so it's gone in. It says, unfortunately, the charge point you want to charge on is offline. Contact the owner of the charge point or contact, and it gives a phone number. So thank you very much. All that excitement, 25 pence, and it's offline. There is a phone number for customer care. I'm not going to do it outdoors with the traffic, but I will ring that when I get back. Okay, so there's the first problem. These look like they're out of order, and when we accidentally touch them, if they're not out of order, they're certainly not very steady. So a bit of a failure here. Had a lot of promise, 25 pence, and they're not in use. There's not a big queue. The reason they're not a big queue, I would assume, is none of them work. So what we're going to do, we are aware on the Shell Recharge app that there is one single Shell Recharge it's a fast charger that is 21 pence advertised on their website. So we're going to see over the rest of the park, see if we can find another one, see if that one's working and see if that one is actually 21 pence or whether that's a bit of a rip off Britain as well. Nothing I can see straight away. Well, We've even got a cloud over the sun now. That's just darkening our day, because this day is going from bad to absolutely atrocious. So let's just do a recap. We checked up on Zap Map, and on the Deepdale Retail Park, this is Deepdale Retail Park, there is one Shell recharge charger quoted on Zap Map at 21 pence per kilowatt hour. Cracking deal if we can find it. So we came out here. First thing we found was there's a Starbucks over there, and there are 4 Shell recharge chargers outside of Starbucks. And guess what? When we put them into the Shell recharge app, because these are fast chargers, they don't need to have contactless, and indeed they haven't. So the only way of activating them is an RFID, which we don't have. I'm going to come back to that in a minute, or use the Shell recharge app. We fire up the Shell recharge app, and all that shows is nothing. There's no charges here according to the recharge app. So we did a scan of the Shell recharge chargers outside of Aldi. There's 4 of them there, and there was a QR code which we downloaded, and it said, sorry, they're all out of order, all of them. But those were priced at 25p, and there were 2 chargers each with 2 outlets on it, 2 11 kilowatt outlets. So that was 25p. Had it been 25p, that would have been a bargain, because if you can't charge at home, 25 pence on an average EV these days, which does about 4 miles per kilowatt hour, it's about 6 pence a mile motoring. That's really cheap motoring. Oh, look out for our next video, one of the ones coming up. We're going to be covering the cost of motoring versus the miles per gallon, and we're doing a price comparison. So keep an eye out for that if you want to subscribe so you don't miss it. Anyway, so we've abandoned those. Those are not shown on the Zap Map, but the one on the Shell recharge, which we saw this morning on Zap Map, one single charger, 11 kilowatts, and it was 21 pence. And when we look at that on Zap Map, it said last refreshed today. So this is not something that's been around for months. It was refreshed today. It's not a huge park, so when we drive around it, doesn't take that long, and there's not that many places where you can hide one charger. One would assume it's an EV charger, and therefore it's accessible by a car, so it's somewhere in the car park. We think. It's not going to be tucked up in someone's private drive if it's on Shell recharge. But nothing shows on the app, so we can't find it. Nothing shows when we drive around. So once again, we've come up against a failure here. Now, while we were in the car, I asked Jonas, would you download the Shell recharge app, new install, and then see if you can get it to come up on your app and see if you can find out where the charger is, because it shows the car on the retail park. We know where the car is, we just don't know where the charger is. So my app showed nothing, so Jonas very kindly sat there and he did exactly the same as me, downloaded the app, tried to get it started, wouldn't let him open an account. It kept crashing. Now, one of the ways of doing this, it says on the chargers outside of Aldi, was you can use an RFID card. So we thought, okay, so I'd come back to it. RFID, so it says a button there on the app, order an RFID card. And I thought, well, why not? Well, why not is because the first thing it says is we need to see proof of your ID, passport or driving license, and then a photograph of yourself and your mobile phone number. What on earth has Shell got a need for other than just to sell our data to everyone around the world who fancies it? There is no need whatsoever to know who I am. All they need is a payment method, which is a card, and if necessary, the car, but they don't even need that. So I bailed out at that point. I am not going to scan in my passport or my driving license for the benefit of Shell. And it's probably not going to work anyhow. Jonas had exactly the same problems. He was asking him all sorts of questions for him. So this is a Shell recharge disaster. And this should be highlighted on all the news and everywhere. This is an absolute scandal and a disgrace. If they're going to operate a charger network, get the thing working, make people able to use it, and make the app accurate. Zap Map, if you're taking money off Shell, which I very strongly suspect you are, can't you make sure that when you advertise that there is a Shell recharge charger on Deepdale Retail Park, that the thing actually exists? It's there. And when you put a price of 21 pence, that someone can actually charge there at 21 pence, and you refresh that app this morning. This is not months old data, this morning. So massive, massive black mark against Zap Map. You're misleading people. Massive, massive black mark against Shell Recharge. You're a disgrace. Your chargers should be ripped out, disconnected, and your app should be deleted. None of this is going to happen. They're going to carry on as always, just upsetting people. So I've had my little rant. So where are we? Shell Recharge. My strong advice to anyone, if you want a nice experience with an EV, don't go anywhere near Shell Recharge in any way whatsoever. And certainly, this is a message to everyone, do not give anyone like this your personal details. They'll be wanting, we didn't get this far, but once they got my ID, they've now got my date of birth, because that's on both the passport and the driving licence. They've got my address, they've got my mobile phone number. What more do they need to open up a fictitious account in my name and start ripping me off? What's that one called? Scammers, that's the one. Yeah, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. There is no need for any app for mobile, for EV charging on a mobile phone to know all that data. So anyway, that's it. We're going to pack up now. We've got loads of other things to see, so we're going to move on to a different location. But from Detail and Shell Recharge, keep away from them. And Zap Map, get your act together. You're supposed to be the best in the country. Check your data before you start publishing it and sending drivers all over the place trying to find things that don't exist. Anyway, rant over. I'm Dave. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please click the like button. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe. But that's it for me, Dave. Dave takes it on.